In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to cook the sirloin steak perfectly medium. So make sure you stay till the end because I have a few tips and tricks on how to achieve this. Ideally, you want to have your steak out the fridge about half an hour before cooking. Half an hour to an hour should do the job. Why is that? Because if you have it room temperature, it will take less to cook than having it out the fridge when it's cold. This steak is pretty thin. Ideally, you want it probably double the thickness, but that's what we found at the shop, and that's probably in most situations you're gonna find. So we're gonna deal with what we've got. Before you get your seasoning on the steak, go in with about 2 tablespoons of veg oil. And you wanna add an oil that's resistant to high temperature. In this situation, is canola oil, which it does perfectly in these kind of conditions. And now, once I have the oil on the steak, I'm gonna go with salt and pepper. I'm using rock salt, but you can definitely use normal salt and you're not gonna have any issues. Do this on both sides, and same with the pepper. Beef loves black pepper, so don't think that you're adding too much. Once we got this ready, we can turn on the heat. And I wanna make sure that the pan is really hot before adding the steak, because I wanna sear all the surface of the steak, keeping all those juices inside to keep the steak nice and moist. I'm gonna cook this about 2 minutes on each side. And once I'm done with those 2 minutes, I'm gonna baste it with butter. And that's how I'm gonna punch a lot more flavor into this steak. So make sure you stay till the end because I'm gonna share this method with you and you're gonna get your steak perfectly cooked every single time. Now, the pan is hot enough, so we're gonna go straight in. No more oil needed because we have enough oil on the steaks. As you can hear, the steak is sizzling, and that's what we want. We want to have a hot surface that's basically sealing all those juices inside, keeping the steak nice and moist. In my opinion, it's absolutely nothing wrong if you flip your steak more than once. Because I know there are a few recipes out there saying, oh well, you need to flip your steak only once. I don't think that's a problem. But if you flip it once, after a minute, let's say, then make sure you give a minute on the other side. So basically, the amount you give on one side, make sure you give on the other so they cook evenly. Now we're gonna flip it. As you can see, nice and caramelized. That's what we're looking for. Also, what you might want to consider is to sear this side of the steak, which is the fat. Because some people remove the fat entirely. If you remove it entirely, then obviously you're not gonna need to worry about that part. But if you wanna keep the fat, it's okay, and most people do, but just make sure you give you a bit of color by keeping your steak like this and sear that fat, giving you a bit of color, and that's gonna be manageable for eating. Otherwise, it's gonna be kind of disgusting and pretty much raw. Okay, at this time, I'm happy with what I see here in the pan. We're getting there with the cooking. I'm gonna add the butter, because now it's time to baste this steak. And also, I've got here a sprig of thyme and a sprig of rosemary. I'm just gonna crush 2 cloves of garlic, add them straight in, same, the thyme and rosemary, everything goes in, and I'm gonna use a spoon to baste all these meat. Now that I've got enough flavor into the steak, I need to check them with the probe thermometer and make sure that I don't go over 60 degrees Celsius. Medium steak is 60 to 65 degrees Celsius or 140 to 150 Fahrenheit, about that. Rate is approaching 60 now, so I'm getting it off the heat. You need to get your steak off the heat slightly earlier than the temperature you want to achieve. That's because it will continue cooking. There is still enough heat in here, so the steak will continue cooking. If you don't remove it from the heat on time, then it will overcook. So now I want to give this about 5 minutes to rest, and after that we're going to try see how it looks like. Now if you have an excess of butter after cooking the steak, this is a pure gold. So I don't want you to throw this away. What you can do, add a touch more garlic, and after that, at the end, once it's slightly colder, you can add some chopped parsley and turn this into a nice garlic butter for your steak. As you can see, you have a nice pink steak right there. And my friends, I really hope that you enjoyed this video. And if you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And I will see you in the next one with more simple recipes like this. And this steak is absolutely perfect. I'll see you in the next one.